But it also means that there's a whole nother double class for makeups, right? Yeah. So every single Thursday, it's an opportunity to come, bang out 2 classes, use 2 makeups if you have Thursday off, and tell me what you want to learn, and I have 3 hours to teach you, which is fabulous. All right, so we're gonna start on a wedge. We got our 2 bolsters like a T, got our blanket under our tush. We're gonna lay out over those 2 bolsters. Pressing into our feet, lifting up our pelvis, give a little wiggle, let the knees touch, heel toe it apart, and then pigeon toe a little bit. And just kind of rooting your elbows and your arms down into the floor and lifting up the skin of your armpits. So all that information will be in a newsletter. I'm going to send the newsletter ideally tomorrow. Yeah, do what you gotta do. And we have 2 workshops coming up, one in March, one in May, and we also have a week retreat. You can do 3 hours or 6 hours of yoga a day up at Mount Washington from September, I want to say 20th till 26th. So if anyone's keen on a retreat, it's a nice affordable way to go and do an absolute ton of yoga. Take your fingers to your shoulders, squeeze your shoulders, and let's start with nice big slow circles with the elbows. And then change direction with the circles. And then stopping with the circles, we're going to open and close the elbows at a shoulder's height. And then like a jumping jack to the ribs, to the shoulders. And then letting those arms be beside you, palms facing up, let the shoulders melt over the bolster, close your eyes, relax your forehead, just nice big beautiful breaths. With each inhalation, feel the whole body expanding. With each exhalation, feel the whole body gently contracting. So today is the last full moon of the year of the snake. And so it's a really good time, just like a snake sheds its skin, to kind of shed any habits that you want to leave behind you. As we come into the year of the horse, it's a really big opportunity for change. And there's only so much space, so much energy in one's life. And so if we want to create a new habit, You have to make space for it. Let's take 5 more big, beautiful breaths, just like that, right here. Big inhales, big exhales. And then heel toe the feet in. Push into your feet, lift up your hips, give them a little wiggle. Bring your right leg up, interlace your fingers, right grip on top of the left, over the shin. Relax your shoulders. As you draw that right leg to you, we're going to straighten that left leg out. And we're just going to start by pointing and flexing that right foot. And then pointing that right foot, we're going to draw nice big, slow circles one direction. And then we're going to change direction with those circles. And stopping with those circles, we're going to flex the foot, sole the foot flat. We're going to curl the toes like we're holding on to a pencil. We're going to point the foot like a dancer. And then we're going to flip the toes back to us. Flex, curl, point, and flip. Flex, curl, point, and flip to hold. Pressing into both feet, relax your shoulders. Take a few big breaths into that right hip. Now if we have really tight hamstrings, we might want to bring our foot onto the floor and roll off to the side as we do the intense leg stretches. We're going to bend the left knee, placing the sole of the left foot onto the floor, and we're going to take the strap over the arch of the right foot, straightening out that right leg. So again, it's going to be less intense if you lie flat on your back, but sometimes it's nice to have the bolster, whatever works. You're going to push your foot into the strap and you're going to pull down on the strap. If you want a deeper stretch, you straighten the left leg, but it shouldn't pull into your back at all. Good. And as we pull down on the strap, again, we're going to point and flex that right foot. And then leveling up that foot. So I'm teaching a book foot. We worked on the last couple of weeks, but what we're doing is we're going to take that right big toe mound to the right and the baby toe mound to the left. So we get this stretch on the outer ankle kind of area, right? So that's what I would call a book foot. And then we're going to go into a level foot and then try and lift your big toe mound higher and your baby toe mound closer to you for what I would call an Irish dancer foot, right? And then go back to level. Irish dancer is where most bodies aren't going to be able to do it, but just think about doing it and then go back to a book foot, right? So a book foot, then a level foot, then try and pull your baby toe to you, big toe away like you're pronating. And just going back and forth with that foot. Now the next time we book foot, we're going to hold. So it's like the baby toe edge of the foot is pointing right up to the sky, and then we're just going to point and flex in that book foot position. You guys are feeling that, hey? Good. And we don't want it to be sharp or painful, but that's a nice area of the body to stretch just because it's the season of Achilles and ankle injuries. We want to make sure we're ready for hiking and biking and such. level up that foot. Good stuff. And then we're going to internally and externally rotate the leg. So like it's a screwdriver, the whole leg is going to rotate one way and then the other way. At any point it feels like too much, you can always bend the left knee or take that right leg further away from you. And then we're going to externally rotate and hold. Toe and knee point out to the right. Beautiful breaths. And then whole leg points in, knee and toe points in. And then neutral rotation, press that foot up towards the sky, pull down with the strap, and let's take that right leg over the left side. Just breathing here as we get that nice IT band stretch. And if you want to increase the stretch, a little bit of book foot here is going to increase it as well. And then level up that foot. Bring it back over its own hip. Bend your left knee, sole of the left foot onto the floor. Release the strap. Bend that right leg, externally rotate and hook the ankle on the outside of the knee. Feel your hips level, and we're just going to draw the knee to the navel and take the knee away. So knee to navel and then knee away. I'm just working like that. And then pull the knee towards your navel to hold. Good. And as you pull the knee towards the navel, push the ankle into the knee into ankle. See if you can bring the knee in a little bit. It's a bit more of a groin stretch. Take some big, beautiful breaths into that groin. And then let that knee open up like a book without the pelvis moving. And then one more time with that right foot, you're going to book foot, level foot. Book foot, level foot, book foot, and then level foot to hold. So to keep the right knee happy in any type of a hip stretch, we start with a really level foot, so no book footing. So here we can put our foot on a block, right? Grabbing your block. If you want to go deeper, if you're already good, you can stay here. Foot on a block, dig that heel in. Let those arms be beside you for a little bit. We're going to use some smells. If you don't want smells in the room, everybody's fine with that, right? That's the beauty of community. It's, you know, we don't have to have smells, that's for sure. So if anybody's allergic to smells, raise your hand and let me know. Good. If you don't want the smell, just don't give me your left hand when I come to you, okay? So let's start off with sage, which is supposed to speed us up to spiritual enlightenment. All in a little bottle. There you go. So if you want it, you know the drill. Rub your hands and then hook it. I love that. Bring them on the enlightenment. These are locally, if they can be, but always ethically sourced. Local small business on the island. Not an American corporation selling this shit.
What do they do to those poor sage plants?
Right. Those poor sage plants! Well, there's enough of them, I tell ya. Go to Kamloops, they're blowing around all over the place. Grows like a weed in my backyard. I went to this cool island, Pantelleria. It's off the coast of Africa, but it's an Italian island. And they had like desert landscaping, but they would plant like lavender, sage, thyme, and it all did so well without watering. It was so cool, and that was the landscaping at the retreat. So cool. Right, so really using that smell to kind of track your breath. Feeling the gentle breeze of breath on the inside of your nostrils. And expand your nostrils. elbows, really nice and slow. Big exhale, slowly bring those elbows to one another. Big inhale, slowly take those elbows apart. Really slow it down to match the breath. And as we open and close the elbows, imagine that the arm bones are the sticks of an arrow, and the elbow is the arrowhead. And really think about taking those sticks of the arrow and pushing them into the elbow arrowhead. And then arriving with those elbows over the shoulders, let's do 10 slow circles one direction. Elbows right over the shoulders. It's 10 circles right over the shoulders one way, and then 10 circles the other way. And then once you've done your 20 slow circles, really take those sticks towards the elbow, arm bones towards the elbow, and then open those elbows as wide as is comfortable for you. Did you get a Charlie horse? Yeah. Because you're inducting the hamstring. If you go lower, you're less likely to get another Charlie horse, but less likely to work so hard too. So your choice, yeah. Let it straighten. More bananas.
I don't think I could possibly eat more bananas. I started making those cakes where you put bananas and cottage cheese.
Oh, yum.
So the protein thing.
Yeah. If you got a good recipe, share it. Protein's very trendy right now. It's a little hot. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Again, just considering, what do you need to get rid of to create a little bit of space? Back over the shoulders, lift the skull, flip those palms away from our chest and straighten out those arms. So the palms are away from us, arms are straight for Queen of the Mountain, and then we're going to bring the arms towards our ears. Let our shoulders melt, push into the fingers, backing off if it feels too intense, as we take 10 more big, beautiful breaths, just like that. 10 breaths are complete, let's bring those arm bones back over the shoulders, bend our elbows, flip our palms, release those arms beside us, palms facing up. Let that left foot come onto the floor off the block. Draw that right knee towards your navel to soften the stretch, uncross the ankle, and just open and close that leg. Beautiful. And then both feet on the floor, pick up the pelvis, give a little wiggle, a little shake. If you need to roll off the bolsters, do so. As we do the other side, we're gonna bring that left leg up. We're gonna interlace our fingers, left hand on top of right as we draw the leg in. Lift your elbows, pull them apart. We're then gonna straighten out that right leg, pressing into that right foot. Bending the knee if it's too intense, as we point and flex that left foot. And then pointing that foot, we're going to draw nice big, slow circles with our foot. And then changing directions. And then a little flex, curl, point and flip, flex, curl, point and flip. One more set like that. And then both feet nice and active, beautiful breaths into that left hip. And then bending that right knee, sole the right foot onto the floor. Let's grab our strap as we take the strap over the foot. Pulling down on the strap as we lift the foot up. Feel free, if you can straighten the left leg, to straighten the right leg. But again, that's going to increase the stretch. So if you want to put the brakes on it, bend the knee. As we pull down on the strap, we lift the foot up into the strap, and we're going to start with a little bit of pointing and flexing of that ankle. And so again, really strong focus this year on the feet. That's my yoga New Year's resolution for everybody. It's nice sometimes to have your own New Year's resolution, like maybe this is the year that we master the squat, or, you know, whatever other pose you fancy. And then stopping with that, we're going to do a little bit of internal and external rotation. Oh no, we did book foot first. So no more rotation, toe and knee points to us. We're going to book foot, pulling the big toe mound to the left, baby toe mound to the right. And then we're going to level the foot, and then maybe go a little past, like an Irish dancer, where the baby toe is closer to you than the big toe mound. And then just going back and forth a few more times, from book foot to level foot to baby toe mound closer than big toe mound. And next time you come into book foot, have that baby toe edge of the foot in the strap. Just like a little mini point and flex with that foot. Just teeny tiny movement. And then leveling up that foot, and we're going to internally and externally rotate. And so keeping the big toe mound, baby toe mound, inner heel, outer heel level, no wrinkles in the ankle. Now the next time we externally rotate, we're going to hold. Just breathe into that. And then we're going to internally rotate and hold. This is magic for the knees. I love this one. and then go 0 rotation. And as you pull down on the foot, lift the foot up, and you're going to take that left leg over to the right side just slightly as you pull down on the strap and you lift up into the foot. Focus on your body, focus on your breath. Just really noticing where you feel maximum sensation of stretch, and breathe into that space. And then taking that ankle back over its own hip, bending your right knee, sole of the right foot onto the floor, externally rotate that left leg, bend the knee, and hook the ankle on the outside of the knee. Again, wiggle the pelvis if you need to, and then feel the pelvis nice and still, and we're going to draw our knee towards our navel, and then our knee away from us. Without the pelvis, the ribs moving, knee to navel, knee away. Just opening and closing that hip gently. And then taking that knee away, we're going to book foot, level foot, book foot, level foot, book foot, level foot to hold. And then you can add whatever height underneath your heel that you fancy. Ideally, it's pretty symmetrical. I like to dig my heel in, flex my foot, so both feet are active and digging in the imagination. I'm going to come around with a different smell. I think peppermint. Peppermint is particularly good for headaches and digestion. With spearmint, I lied. And so left hand if you want it. Smells good. Is it too breezy by the window? Is it okay? It's good. The temperature okay here, guys? We forgot to pull that knee in. I forgot to tell you to do it. So let's bring that knee in a little closer to our navel as we breathe into that groin. So just kind of close the book of the leg there, get that groin stretch. It's actually nice on the height. And then let that knee move away from you. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Reach your arm bones towards the peak of the elbow and keeping that connection, open and close your elbows. Go a little bit slower. Really taking those arm bones to the tip of the elbow as you open and close. And then arrive with your elbows right over your shoulders and draw little circles just above. So elbows right over the shoulders and draw little circles with those elbows sort of between the shoulder and the sky. Good. Change direction with the circle. broadening your nostrils, and then breathe into your belly, then breathe into your ribs, and then breathe into your upper chest and shoulders. And then emptying your shoulders, and then your ribs, and then your belly. Let's take 10 more breaths here. When those 10 breaths are complete for you, no rush. We're going to draw those elbows back over our shoulders, lift our skull to remove our hands, flip those palms towards the sky, stretching and straightening those elbows, relax the shoulders away from the ears, and then bring your arms towards your ears. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw, take a great big exhale to empty, and let's take 10 breaths here. First filling the belly, then the ribs, then the chest. 10 breaths are complete, let's bring those arm bones back up over the shoulders, bend your elbows, flip your palms, and release those arms onto the floor. Let's allow that right foot to come down onto the floor. If it's lifted, maybe walk it away from you. Draw that left knee towards navel, uncross, and just open and close that knee a few times here. Good. And then removing the block, placing it beside you. Pick up your pelvis, give a little wiggle, a little shake. And let's finish up with a cobbler. So soles of the feet clap, knees apart, really, really strong feet. If at any point that feels like too much, you can do a creeper, which is the same pose, but with the soles of the feet flat on the floor. Let those arms be beside you, palms facing up. Root down with the arms, like as if they were pushing down towards the earth, and lift the skin of the armpits up towards the chest, towards the sky. And melt your trapezius muscles down your back. Maybe just rocking your head just a teeny tiny bit left and right. And then chin arrives in center, close your eyes and breathe. And then when you're ready, use your hands and your leg muscles. Use every muscle you got. Pull in your belly to bring those legs up. Walk your feet apart. Pick up your pelvis. Give a little wiggle, a little shake. And then move your hips to one side as we roll off to the other and push ourselves up. All right, so we're gonna sit. Let's sit on our shins. So let's open up the blanket like so. Wrinkle free. And if you need more height, I can grab it, no problem. And I think you're 5 of these guys, but I brought 6 just in case. So we put our blocks towards the end of our blanket behind us. So some of us are gonna have 2 blocks like this, right? Some of us might need more height, and then I'll grab you the foamies. But with our knees on the blanket and our ankles on the blanket, I find that works best. Put your ankles around the blocks and then sit back and lift up the skin of your knees. Now, if you feel your knees at all, we don't want to hold this posture. We're going to add more height underneath our butt. And sit back nice and slow. Oh, I forgot to light the candles. As you guys are getting comfy, I'll grab those. How are you feeling? Do you need more height? No, you're good. Okay. You definitely don't want to feel those knees. How's that feeling today? Is that okay? All right. And I can bring it forward if we need to. And see if you can bring your weight into your seat without feeling your knees. You can sit a different way if we need to. Some days they're different, right?
Yeah.
You're feeling them today?
Yeah, 2 days not a great day.
Yeah. Do you think you can hold that, or do you want me to give you a different option?
Okay.
Okay, let me know. We can always do. We're going to inhale to lift those shoulders up by the ears, and then out through the mouth. Good. Inhale up. 2 more. Good stuff. All right. We're then going to bring the arms out like a T. Hopefully I told you to move away from the walls. I think we're all pretty good. Right? Pull those arms out like a T. Wrists, elbows, shoulders level. And we're going to externally rotate and internally rotate. Good. And then one arm's going to go up and one arm's going to go down as we do this, trying to keep our spine level. Good. And then we're going to come up as we do this. Good. And then one arm goes up, one arm goes down. You see how my shoulders don't change and my armpits don't change? Ideally, that's what we're looking for. The 2 sides of the torso stay even. And we want to try and screwdriver as deep as we can, right into the shoulder socket. Good. Now the next time the right arm goes up and the left arm goes down, let's hold there and keep rotating right into the shoulders. Good. And nothing should be painful. Do less if you need to. So eventually right arm is up, left arm is down, and we keep rotating. Good. Watch those ribs. Lean those ribs back. Pull in the belly. Good. Now this upper arm we're going to externally rotate quite firmly, right? And we're going to lift it up. And now we're going to keep the elbow where it is, and we're going to bend. And we can touch the back of our skull, or we can touch the C7. But what we don't want to do is this. Right? We're going to do our best, even if we only touch our head or bend a little bit, we're going to try and keep it over our shoulder. Then we're going to take this arm halfway to a T, and we're going to vigorously internally rotate it, right? So we're internally rotating it as far as we can, right into the shoulder. Then we're going to bend the elbow. See how I keep the elbow where it is? And then eventually, if I nail it, my hands will touch. But if they don't touch, I'm just going to press into my body wherever it touches, right? If the elbow has to go out a little bit, that's fine, but the hands are active either way. And then as we push the hands into the body, we're going to pull the elbows apart, like the arm bones or the arrow wood. What would you, I have to look that up. Whatever that thing is called, the sort of shaft, right? Move your arm bone into the tip of your arrow like it's an arrowhead, and then push both elbows into an imaginary bullseye. Now, if you've already got enough in your neck, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more of a neck stretch, you can drop your chin and you can rotate your chin towards that left shoulder. And then just big, beautiful breaths into that. And this baby, like thoracic park, can sometimes bring quite a bit of heat, which is good. Everybody's got scar tissue in their shoulders, and that internal heat with the breath is how we get rid of it. If you feel your knees come out of the posture, let's bring our chin back up to center and up. Beautiful. Now reach into the elbows and sweep those arms back to a level position. Pull those arm bones up. Good. And let's keep internally and externally rotating right into the shoulder socket as the left arm comes up and the right arm goes down. Good, little proprioception action here. And then the top arm, the left arm, is going to really externally rotate right into the shoulder. We're going to think about bending the elbow but keeping it in its place, and the hand's going to come to wherever it goes to. Okay? Then this right arm's going to come out halfway to a T. That's the magic number. You can see my wrist is level with my hip, and then I'm going to internally rotate it as much as I can. Without moving my elbow, I try and bend, and that's how I'm eventually going to get those hands to touch. It's just functional movement. It's how the body likes to move. Push your hands into your body. Take your arm bones into the tip of the elbow, and push the tip of the elbow into an imaginary bullseye. If you're already getting enough shoulder, this is a good place to stay. If you want a little more, you're going to drop your chin, and then you're going to rotate your chin towards that right shoulder. And just breathe into that. Big, beautiful breaths. And then chin comes back to center and up. Beautiful. Now pull the arm bones into the elbows, sweep those arms through, pull those arms apart. Beautiful. Then let those palms face up, shoulders relax, close your eyes, and give me 5 big breaths into the shoulders. If you need to stretch out your knees during those 5 breaths is a great opportunity, right? You can always swap your seat. I'm happy to help if you need to. If you're comfortable and content, then let's just work on a little bit more ankle and knee stretching here. Some of us might find that we've warmed up after those 5 breaths and we can sit on one block, but I wouldn't want to go lower if I have consistent knee pain. And then I'm always going to lift up the skin of my knees because when I release that fascia, I find I can sit a lot longer. Okay? Let's inhale to bring our arm bones up. Right hand is going to take left elbow, left hand's going to take right elbow. I'm going to pull those elbows apart. Pull in my belly, lift my chest. So keeping those elbows on a tabletop position, I'm going to open my elbows and close my elbows, swapping which arm is on top, keeping my wrists and my elbows level, and just really opening up that upper back. Good. Now the next time the right arm comes on top, take the right arm on top. Some of us are going to be able to stack the elbows and hold the shoulders, and some of us are just going to hold the elbows, whatever works. But if you're holding the shoulders, see if you can quack like a duck. Quack, 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 quack. Good. Now squeeze your elbows, reach your elbows forward, relax those shoulders away from the ears. Let's take 5 big breaths here. And then with our hands on our shoulders, we're going to lower our elbows and lift our elbows. And again, nothing should be painful. Hands are on the shoulders like hats on a head. Hands aren't moving. Good. And then elbows up level with the shoulders. Pull in your belly and let's go back to arms karate chop out and in. Alternating which arm's on top. Good. Is that Maddie snoring?
Yeah.
Funny. And then left arm on top of right. Right? See if you get those elbows to stack. See if you can hold the shoulders, quack like a duck. If not, it can be wrists over elbows, quack, 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 quack. Then squeeze your elbows, put your hands on the shoulders like hats on a head. Take big, beautiful breaths here. See if you can get those elbows to squeeze like a duck's bill. And then taking those elbows down and up without any pain. And then let those arms come down, palms facing up, set those shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, close your eyes and breathe. Let's go 2 more breaths here. Again, just letting go of whatever it is that's taking up space, like an old couch. And then when you're ready, coming forward into a tabletop position, and you can kind of twist and get rid of some of those blocks if you like. And eventually you want to have your wrists ahead of your shoulders, push into your fingers and your palms. Tucking the toes, you're going to press back into your heel. So remember, we don't want to feel our wrists at all. So our hands are so that our shoulder is behind our wrist. It's like a downward slope from our shoulder to our wrist. Our index fingers point forward, and we want to make sure that the base of the index is down, right? If the base of the index is lifting, then it's too much weight on our upper wrist. And then with our toe tucked, we're just going to push back into our heel, and then we're going to bring that heel forward to stretch out the toes. And if you baby toe edge straight foot, I don't know what that means. Baby toe to the foot needs to be straight to get the baby toe. So sometimes you just got to kind of pigeon toe a little bit to get that baby toe. Good. And then press back into the heel. Nice neutral neck, lifting the back of the skull, and then forward into those toes. And then that knee comes down, straighten the opposite leg, and push back into that heel to get that nice release into the calf and the back of the knee. Lift up your belly, lift up your ribs. And then without really straightening or bending the leg, just bring that heel forward to get that nice toe stretch. If you're missing the baby toe, sometimes you can knead those toes like a kitty a little bit to catch that baby toe and not just be jamming into that big toe. Let's do another round, back into the heel. And then forward into the toes. And then knees down, toes tucked. Let's exhale to curl our spine, thinking angry kitty. And then shoulders back, sit bones lift, gazing up. So exhale to curl the spine, thinking angry kitty. And then inhale, shoulders back, sit bones lift, gazing up. And just getting maximum movement through your spine. Let's go back and forth 10 more times. And then when that's complete, we're gonna take our two bolsters and we're gonna stack them on top of one another like this. We're gonna pull them in nice and close to our belly. So our knees go wide and our toes touch. You might wanna rotate your blanket so it's the other way on your mat. And so your knees are on the blanket, your ankles are kind of on the blanket. And again, you can be further away if you need to, right? To have that space between your butt and your heels. If you're comfortable, you can pull it in. If you're not pregnant, you just pull that top bolster right into your belly and you come over the bolster. And you can slide your elbows forward or back to make sure your shoulders feel good. And if it feels comfortable for your neck, you turn and look off to the right. If it's too much for the neck, you just stack your hands and you rest your forehead on your hands. If you feel your knees, you move forward. Okay. But again, just pay attention to your neck for a breath or two and see if it's comfortable. Everybody's knees are good? So Joni, what about stacking your hands? So you have two options. You can either look off in one direction or you can stack your hands underneath your forehead so there's no wrinkles in the back of the neck. There we go, perfect. Either or works. Good, and so that belly's got that kind of bolster in it, and let's start by breathing into that bolster. Anytime you feel your knees or you get a cramp, you come out and back into that tabletop position that we did where we straightened out our knees and stretched our ankles. That'll release your cramps in most cases, and your knees. Now keep breathing into your belly, but pull your belly away from the bolster. Right, as if you're pulling your belly up away from that bolster, but breathe into that space and send the breath laterally into your hips and into the back. You getting a cramp there?
It's like my ankles.
Yeah, so a nice tip is to come forward, stretch them out, right? And then if you want to, you can roll this up like that, and that may make a big difference on the ankles. Let's take 5 more breaths on this side. When those 5 breaths are complete, you can either just turn and look the other direction, or if you feel like you need to stretch your ankles and your knees, come into tabletop, stretch your ankles and your knees. But if you're feeling fabulous, you just turn your gaze and look the other way. Then start with those big expanding belly breaths, where the belly pushes into the bolster and then pull your belly towards your back. And then once you've found a few of those expanded belly breaths, let's do a Uddiyana Bandha, Samana Vayu, where we pull our belly towards our back, as if we're sucking in our gut from that bolster, and then send the breath back and out, down into the pelvic floor. Take 5 more breaths on this side. And then hands underneath your shoulders, nice inhale to come up. Let's push those bolsters out of the way into our tabletop position, tuck those toes, and give those ankles a nice release. And then once you've released those ankles, you're going to pivot so that you're not messing with your knees. And I'm going to show you this new back bend that we haven't done before. So now if I was someone that had quite a tight upper back, I might want to go lower or further, right? And I'll describe what that means when I'm in there. But what's important here is that you, if you were thinking into the center of the room, so if my mat was so that my head is coming to the center of the room, so the wall is the bowls, right? And this is the center of the room where I am, okay? You want to have your bolsters really close to the wall. And you might even want to pull your mat away from the wall like you have it today, okay? And so what we do, this is just going to really open up this space, and we've done a lot of warm-up to get into this space. So we lie down on our bolster, we hold our head, and we slide, and I'm going to say this 3 times. The shoulders have to be on the floor, the shoulders have to be on the floor. If I take my fingers, I can't take my fingers under the shoulders because my shoulders are on the floor. I'm going to push down really hard, and then if I want to go deeper, I can bring my legs up onto the bolster. I'm not allowed to do this. I have to have my arms low, and then when I want to come out of this, or if I want it to soften, I can go a little further. This will be less because it won't be right in our tight spot. And then we shoulder walk to come out of it. We've already given ourselves all that space. We just flip this guy, we give it a hug if that was deep, and then we're gonna go right into Shavasana like an elf on the shelf, okay? So when you're ready, you can pull your blanket, or not your blanket, your mat. Melt down. Pull away from the wall a little bit. I've got at least 1 bolster between me and the wood floor, right? So this is coming into the center of the room. So you want to start with your butt by the wall. So I'm going to go where I'm facing the wall. Right, for most of us. Or if you have enough room, great. If you've got enough room, okay? Whatever works, as long as you have space, right? And then you're going to come down nice and slow, hold on your head. Now holding your head, you're going to slide until the shoulders are on the floor. The shoulders have to be all the way on the floor. Remember, you're going to set yourself up so that you're not on the hardwood, but you're on a mat. And then if you want to go deeper, you straighten one leg, you straighten the other leg. If you hold your head, it's a little nicer. There you go. Hold your head. It's
Hold my head.
Yeah. As you come, keep going a tiny bit more. There we go. And then arms come below your shoulder. Arms come here. Yeah, good. So shoulders are down, good. And then if you want deeper, you straighten your legs and you push through the soles of the feet. Good. If it's already deep enough, you don't. So with this one, you have to keep coming until the shoulders touch the floor. So you gotta go. So you hold onto your head if you can with your elbows. Good. Now keep coming until the shoulders hit the ground. So you gotta keep coming this way. Go. Elbows together. You bring those elbows together. Good. Now keep coming until your shoulders go on the floor. So you have to move this way towards the wall. There we go. Keep coming. Keep until the shoulders are on the floor. So can the shoulders gotta come more, gotta bend these knees, and you gotta keep coming. Till there's, see how I can put my hands under the shoulders? That's telling your shoulders are on the floor. You need to move more this way. Yeah, I got something like that. Almost away. And then bring your arms down here. There you go. Now shoulders are down. How's that? Does that feel okay? If it's too much of a stretch, you have to go further that way. Alright? If you want more stretch, you straighten your legs and put on the bolster. But feet on the bolster. There you go. Perfect. That feels okay. I know it's new, right? It's not like that over there and it's dark in here. It's hard to see. I'm gonna hit the light. So see how I do? Oh no, I can't. That's good. Got it. Shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down. I like an external rotation, so palms facing up and push those shoulders down into the floor. Nice. If it feels like it's too much, because this is, especially if you go super slow, this is going to get you right where you're tight. If it's too much, then keep going, right? And it'll just go down your spine, and lower in the spine, you're going to be less tight, right? Around that kind of T7 area, around that broad line is where we get calcificated first in our discs. Okay? And so being able to bend in that area is humongously helpful, but we don't want it to be painful, because pain is the opposite of yoga. Pain is, it's good to notice pain and to not sit in it, but to move out of it. It's like nagging. If you ignore the nagging gets louder, and the nagging gets pissed off, right? Whereas if we're like, oh, my mid-back is nagging, I'm gonna get out of here and listen to it, then the nagging stops, and the healing happens. Let's go 10 more big, beautiful breaths into that space. So if I was really tall, or if I was someone that had to hunch for my job a lot, this is such a nice passive pose, right? But we did do a lot of warm up to make it comfy. We did Thoracic Park, and we did these, I must. Because remember that? I must increase my bust. That's what they did.
I never did that.
No. All right, when you're ready, you're gonna put your feet on the floor. And if you don't want to shoulder walk, just pick up your pelvis and push your bolsters out. But you can shoulder walk, flip your bolster. If that was a deep back bend for you, give those legs a nice hug. And then doing Shavasana with the bolster underneath your hamstring. Then you got a blanket for underneath your head if you want it. Palms facing up, shoulders relaxed. If you're at home, chuck on a knee drop.